taxi drivers and Uber drivers. What's the strangest or most interesting thing you've overheard while driving a passenger? I worked part-time as a taxi driver while studying at university. Around that time, my girlfriend of a month confessed that she had another guy from Germany. She told me all about their relationship and even admitted she was planning to move in with him soon. Naturally, we broke up. A few months later, I picked up a drunk couple outside a bar. They got into the back seat and started making out. The guy was speaking German, and I realized where this might be going. We dropped the woman off at her house, and the guy told me to take him to his place. Along the way, he started bragging about how he'd just moved in with his girlfriend and was thrilled she went away for the weekend so he could hook up with other women. He even mentioned how American girls are suckers for an accent, and how his girlfriend had no idea how often he cheated on her. As you've probably guessed, it was the same guy my ex left me for. I just drove him home without saying a word. I wonder how things are going for them now. Comment: you missed the perfect chance for revenge, my friend. Reply: yeah, but two cheaters staying together is probably punishment enough. Late-night rides can get weird. I drive for Lyft. One night, around 11 p.m., I got a request to take 4 passengers from Boston to a casino in Rhode Island, a minimum 1-hour drive. I accepted. When I arrived, 4 middle-aged Asian men got in and gave me directions in broken English. Here's where it gets strange. For the entire trip, they only said one word: caramel. I'm not joking. Grown men sat in my car, repeatedly saying caramel. No jokes, no laughter, no explanation. They whispered it, chanted it, even harmonized it at times, with pauses of 10 minutes in between. When we arrived, they asked me to wait and take them back, but I made an excuse and left. That was too weird for me. Taxi stories, a surprise. Turn once. My wife and I were in Las Vegas and had a Pakistani taxi driver. He was on the phone, discussing my wife's appearance in Urdu, not realizing I had learned the language during my military service. When he handed me the change, I smiled and said, "Thank you, goodbye," in Urdu. The look on his face was priceless. He looked like he was having a stroke. A sneaky divorce lawyer ride. I picked up 2 divorce lawyers who were working opposite sides of the same case. During the ride, they openly discussed how to drag out the proceedings to rack up hourly fees. It wasn't just about winning, they were cooperating to milk both clients dry. A drug deal gone wrong or right. One night, I got into a taxi in South Florida. Shortly after giving directions, the driver's phone rang. He apologized, closed the partition, and whispered, "I'll take a kilo. I'll be there in 20 minutes." When he reopened the partition, he casually asked me about a recent football game. I tipped him extra because he saved me 15 minutes by taking shortcuts. Sometimes people just need help. About a year ago, I was ending my night shift when I saw a guy crying on the side of the road. I normally avoid stopping because it can cause traffic jams, but something felt off, so I pulled over. The guy explained between sobs that he needed to get to Duluth, Minnesota, a 2.5-hour drive. No other drivers would take him because it was too late. I was struggling with depression at the time, so I empathized with him and decided to help. We drove in silence for most of the trip, but I overheard him on the phone explaining how he'd lost his wife and kids in a car accident, his job, his home, and was now rushing to see his dying father in Duluth. When we arrived, he tried to give me his last bit of cash, some crumpled bills and coins wrapped in a sandwich wrapper. I refused. Seeing him safe was enough for me. When I got home, I hugged my mom and felt grateful for what I had. What's the strangest or most interesting thing you've overheard while driving? Share your stories in the comments. And don't forget to check out our other posts.